Book 9, Chapter 6 of The Female Quixote, Volume 2. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit librivox.org. The Female Quixote, Volume 2, by Charlotte Lennox. Book 9, Chapter 6, not much plainer than the former. Arabella, who had walked as fast as her legs would carry her, got home before Lucy could overtake her, and retiring to her chamber, gave way to a fresh burst of grief, and bewailed the infidelity of Glanville in terms befitting a Clelia or Mandana. As soon as she saw Lucy enter, she started from her chair with great emotion. "Thou comest," said she, "I know, to intercede for that ungrateful man, whose infidelity I am weak enough to lament. But open not thy mouth, I charge thee, in his defence." "No, indeed, madam," said Lucy. "Nor bring me any account of his tears, his desperation, or his despair," said Arabella, "since questionless he will feign them all to deceive me." Here Glanville, who had watched Lucy's coming, and had followed her into Arabella's apartment, appeared at the door. "Oh heavens!" cried Arabella, lifting up her fine eyes, "can it be that this disloyal man, unawed by the discovery of his guilt, again presumes to approach me?" "Dearest cousin," said Glanville, "what is the meaning of all this? How have I disobliged you? What is my offence? I beseech you, tell me." "Ask the inconstant Ariamenes," replied Arabella, "the offence of the ungrateful Glanville. The betrayer of Cynetia can best answer that question to the deceiver of Arabella, and the guilt of the one can only be compared to the crimes of the other." "Good God!" interrupted Mr. Glanville, fretting excessively, "what am I to understand by all this? On my soul, madam, I don't know the meaning of one word you say." "Oh, dissembler!" said Arabella, "is it thus that thou wouldst impose upon my credulity? Does not the name of Ariamenes make thee tremble then? And canst thou hear that of Cynetia without confusion?" "Dear Lady Bella," said Glanville, smiling, "what are these names to me?" "False man!" interrupted Arabella, "dost thou presume to sport with thy crimes then? Are not the treacheries of Ariamenes the crimes of Glanville? Could Ariamenes be false to the Princess of Gaul, and can Glanville be innocent towards Arabella?" Mr. Glanville, who had never heard her, in his opinion, talk so ridiculously before, was so amazed at the incomprehensible stuff she uttered with so much emotion, that he began to fear her intellects were really touched. This thought gave him a concern that spread itself in a moment over his countenance. He gazed on her with a fixed attention, dreading, yet wishing she would speak again, equally divided between his hopes that her next speech would remove his suspicion, and his fears that it might more confirm them. Arabella, taking notice of his pensive posture, turned away her head, lest by beholding him she should relent, and treat him with less severity than she had intended, making at the same time a sign to him to be gone. "Indeed, Lady Bella," said Glanville, who understood her perfectly well, "I cannot leave you in this temper. I must know how I have been so unfortunate as to offend you." Arabella, no longer able to contain herself, burst into tears at this question. With one hand she made repeated signs to him to be gone, with the other she held her handkerchief to her eyes, vexed and ashamed at her weakness. But Mr. Glanville, excessively shocked at this sight, instead of leaving her, threw himself on his knees before her, and taking her hand, which he tenderly pressed to his lips, "Good God, my dearest cousin," said he, "how you distract me by this behaviour! Sure something extraordinary must be the matter. What can it be that thus afflicts you? Am I the cause of these tears? Can I have offended you so much? Speak, dear madam, let me know my crime, yet may I perish if I am conscious of any towards you." "Disloyal man," said Arabella, disengaging her hand from his, "does then the crime of Ariamenes seem so light in thy apprehension, that thou canst hope to be thought innocent by Arabella? No, no, ungrateful man, the unfortunate Cynetia shall have no cause to say that I will triumph in her spoils. I myself will be the minister of her revenge, and Glanville shall suffer for the crime of Ariamenes." "Who the devil is this Ariamenes?" cried Glanville, rising in a passion, "and why am I to suffer for his crime, pray? For heaven's sake, dear cousin, don't let your imagination wander thus. Upon my soul, I don't believe there is any such person as Ariamenes in the world." "Vile equivocator," said Arabella, "Ariamenes, though dead to Cynetia, is alive to the deluded Arabella. The crimes of Ariamenes are the guilt of Glanville, and if the one has made himself unworthy of the Princess of Gaul by his perfidy and ingratitude, the other by his baseness and deceit merits nothing but contempt and detestation from Arabella."
"Frenzy, by my soul!" cried Glanville mutteringly between his teeth. "This is downright frenzy. What shall I do?"
"Hence from my presence," resumed Arabella, "false and ungrateful man! Persecute me no more with the hateful offers of thy love. From this moment I banish thee from my thoughts for ever, and neither as Glanville or as Ariamenes will I ever behold thee more."
"Stay, dear cousin," said Glanville, holding her, for she was endeavouring to rush by him, unwilling he should see the tears that had overspread her face as she pronounced those words. "Hear me, I beg you, but one word. Who is it you mean by Ariamenes? Is it me? Tell me, madam, I beseech you. This is some horrid mistake. You have been imposed upon by some villainous artifice. Speak, dear Lady Bella, is it me you mean by Ariamenes? For so your last words seem to hint." Arabella, without regarding what he said, struggled violently to force her hand from his, and finding him still earnest to detain her, told him with an enraged voice that she would call for help if he did not unhand her directly. Poor Glanville, at this menace, submissively dropped her hand, and the moment she was free, she flew out of the room, and locking herself up in her closet, sent her commands to him by one of her women, whom she called to her, to leave her apartment immediately. End of Book 9, Chapter 6.